Hello and welcome to another episode of TUPCAST, the Untitled Podcasters podcast, where we talk about movies and get heavily off topic while doing so. My name is Andrew. I am one of your hosts. Alongside me today, my two co-hosts who appear in every episode, Steve.
Hey, how's it going?
And Colby.
On time today.
That's right.
Woohoo!
And today's episode, we're going to be finally, only took us, I don't even know how long, and I don't really care to find out, to actually get around to watching and recording the Thing movie, part of our GOAT list. We have one of our previous episodes. We went through a big list of movies, narrowed them down to ones we hadn't seen, and came up with a list. So this is currently, I have the rankings up here. This will be the fourth film. Nope, sorry. Third film in our rewatch order. I had it written down wrong.
I would also, just for reference, for frame of time, episode 1 of this series was uploaded 11 months ago, which means it was recorded at least 12 months ago.
Oh, yes.
So wait, we watched Taxi Driver. I can't even remember the other one.
It was Taxi
Alien.
Driver and Alien.
Oh, okay.
And Alien
I
was
think I
uploaded
would've
9
remembered-
months ago, which means it was
Yeah,
recorded at least 10 months ago.
Well, I've
So
watched so much
the-
Alien since then that I didn't even remember that was
I've
a
binged
first
the
watch.
whole series, the whole franchise.
Same.
I did not. So finally, we're
time.
here. The third in our 8-film list here that we're going to get out on. The next one on our list is Groundhog Day. I want to rewatch that episode where we came up with this list because it's just so weird, random.
And none of them are similar at all.
Nope.
No,
Not even similar genres.
there's really no consistency here. And all three of us saw this film at separate times. I think, Steve, you watched it first. Do you
I watched
remember?
it. I watched it. It was either late September or early October. Because then I texted you guys and was like, have you watched it yet? And you're both like, nope. And then Colby watched it. And then we just didn't have time or couldn't figure out a time. And then so much time went by that I rewatched it 2 days ago. So
Yeah,
I've
I
seen
didn't
it
rewatch
twice
it,
now.
but I have my notes from my initial viewing, which was in theaters when Regal did a re-release of classic movies. There was me and maybe 2 other people in that theater. And some of these notes that I have here,
it was 2 p.m. on a Tuesday.
let me say most of the notes I have on here do not make any sense. But I can get my idea of why I wrote them down, though.
We'll figure it out together.
As always, we are not sponsored by McDonald's or Mark Wahlberg. Maybe they'll come up today. Maybe they won't. You'll have to wait and see.
Well, isn't Mark Wahlberg the Thing?
Got us there. Well,
There's nothing
you
that
for
says
tuning
he
in.
isn't.
yeah, you're right.
Oh.
All right. Well, so how do we want to do? What were our expectations before watching this film? Anyone have any thoughts there?
I expected it to be on the level of I've heard John Carpenter's The Thing spoken highly of for a long time, but I was also just not a big fan in my head of horror and sci-fi at the time that I was hearing about it as I was growing up and getting older. But I heard it as a all-time classic kind of thing. Oh, it's a classic. Oh, one of those kind of things. But I only recently started to fall in love with horror and sci-fi stuff in the last couple of years, outside of Star Wars and those things. But the more culty sci-fi horror stuff. So I expected it to kind of be on the level of original Alien, Aliens, Predator, that kind of stuff. So I had pretty high expectations. So much so that I just bought the movie instead of renting it. I was like, I bet you I'm going to like this. I might as well just own it. It wasn't that expensive. It wasn't much more to buy it as is to rent it, and it turned
Did
out to
you
work out because I've watched it twice already. So
did you buy it on like Amazon Prime or like on
yeah, I
just
bought
like
it.
physical
Yeah, I bought
media?
it on Prime.
Okay, I was just
It was
curious.
it was like $7 to buy and $5 to rent. So I was like,
Yeah, that's how a lot of
well,
them
I'm just gonna buy
are like
this.
that.
So
Right. Yeah. Colby, do you have any thoughts going into this?
So I didn't know anything about this movie at all. Literally nothing. I had only ever heard of it by name, and I had only ever seen the poster for it, which I would like to add is very clearly, upon further investigation, a man in the snow with like, a hood, like a hood and jacket, like a snow jacket.
Yeah.
For a long time, I just assumed that was a Scooby-Doo scuba outfit looking guy. And I had no idea what this movie was about. Literally not a single clue. And I went into this movie completely blind. And let me tell you, it was a trip.
Yeah.
When stuff started
That's
popping off, I was like, if you forced me to like give you like what I expected this movie to be about, never would have gotten close.
no.
I'll tell you the only thing, pun intended, I thought
Oh.
was happening is the thing from the Fantastic Four. Like that was the only association I had, and I remember
By name.
after I saw it, I had asked my dad because he's like, "What movie did you go see?" And I said, "Oh, it was the thing." I'm like, "It was a movie." He said it was the kind of movie I thought my dad would like. And he was like, "Oh, really?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "That was a cartoon when I was growing up about the Rock Man." I'm like, "No, wrong thing." He had the same thought of that, but yeah. So
Same minds.
going in with those expectations, I was not really prepared for what I saw. But I also like loved it. I had so much fun with. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, what's your overall review? Give us some more on it.
So this is 2 or 3 months ago now. I saw this film, so that's where I'm digging from. I won't go into specifics because I can't remember any. But I was very pleased with it. I'm always afraid when I go to watch older films, that I won't enjoy them because the film quality is not as well or as what we're used to today. And at first, I think that was an issue, but I kind of went to the back of my head. It didn't really bother me as much as I don't know if I was expecting it to or not, but that wasn't an issue that I ran into, which I was happy to not have. I liked the suspense aspect of it. That I think was one of my favorite parts of it there. Like, something's going to happen. And then I think the question that remains in my head is who is actually going to survive out of this? Is anyone going to survive? And those are the kind of things that I like, the things that keep you on edge for a lot of the film. I enjoy those as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for me, I like the fact that it starts off in the middle of things. Like there's not like a lead into it. It's literally like opening shot, spaceship lands somewhere, and then you're in Antarctica and there's a dog running through the snow and there's a helicopter trying to kill it. And you're like, all right, so we're just getting going. Like something's happening.
Yeah, right.
And for like half of the movie you have no clue really what's happening, but like you're figuring it out with the characters, which I always enjoy. But like yeah, I definitely enjoy the aspect where it's like, and like that opening shot again, the quick little shot with the spaceship is very reminiscent of Aliens and Predator and Star Wars. Like it's kind of like the hallmark of like sci-fi movies in like the 70s and 80s, it seems like. And yeah, just like that we started the story right away, and like you get characters as you go and they all have their own characteristics. Like that's this guy and he's the cook, and like that's the doc and he is the badass. Like Kurt Russell like is cooler than cool in this movie, I think. Like he just looks cool.
Yeah.
Like you want to hang out with him but you don't, but like you do. Like he's one of
But you're afraid
those.
to.
He's got a cool name, like was it RJ McCready? Like that's just
Something
a cool.
like that.
They all live in Antarctica. You don't really know what they're doing there, but like they're there, and
It also doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. And like you just know shit's going down, but
right,
like how and when and where and why takes forever to kind of develop, but like in a good way. And even at the end, you're still like, are we sure that one of these guys is not the Thing? Like, are we sure?
Yeah,
Like, I
that's
kind of like that aspect of it. So,
that was
I think this is like a quintessential 80s sci-fi classic.
Oh,
Like, it's
absolutely.
up there with Alien. It's up there with Predator. It's up there with all those.
It's one of the reasons that it has that stereotype.
Right. And I mean, it has like essentially the reverse chest burster scene where like the doc is giving that guy CPR, and instead of an alien coming out, his hands go in, and then it creates teeth and like bites off the doc's hands. And you're like, this is not what I thought the Thing was gonna be, but I'm all in.
After Colby, if he comes back, he's blanked out for a second. Comes back, I'll read off the notes that I wrote down while I was watching this. And it's just funny because I'm having like a conversation with myself while I'm writing these down.
Yeah.
Colby, what were your what did you like, dislike, your thoughts?
So it kind of mirrors what you guys were talking about. Like I think that it is a very classic 80s, almost feels like a blockbuster movie. I know that apparently it bombed when it first came out. It was not very popular until years later on, which kind of shocked me to find that out, because watching this, I wouldn't have guessed that. I would have thought, like Steve was saying, it would have been kind of up there with, Alien, Predator, that kind of stuff, because of how it was. It's kind of like a scary suspense horror action thriller. But it feels like on par with those movies. Like, to me, it didn't seem like it was less quality than those. Like, I would still put it up on that same ranking. I liked the setting being Antarctica. I thought that was very unique. I'm sure there's movies that have done it before, maybe after. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I really did appreciate the setting that they were in. I thought it added like a cool atmosphere. And it definitely,
you can't call for help. Like, there's no
help.
It
definitely added some stakes to the whole film.
Right.
And I thought because of that, because you can't, get help right away, it was kind of really cool when they went to that neighboring base to check that place out. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Now we're adding like a twist to this, because they're the closest help. That base was the closest help. And then they get there to find out that it's already been desolated. The place is completely destroyed, ransacked. Something went down. You don't know what's happening. And to mirror what you guys were talking about, I like how like the first half of the movie, you have no clue what's really happening. You're just in it for the ride.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of movies nowadays don't really do that. And even shows, for that matter, they kind of just lay out the plot within the first 20 or 30 minutes of whatever you're watching nowadays. So it was kind of cool when I was watching this, and even towards the end, you don't even know necessarily what this thing is. It doesn't matter. It's not from Earth. That's about it. Like you guys said, you don't know if the guys at the end are truly who they are.
Right.
And there's a lot left for interpretation and to the imagination. Now, I will say, I don't know if any of that's clarified in the prequel / remake or whatever you want to call it. Didn't watch that. Couldn't have cared less. Didn't feel like I needed to watch that. But I feel like this movie stands alone so well that it leaves a lot to be interpreted, but in a good way. It leaves me asking questions that don't need answered necessarily, because sometimes you watch something and you go, well, that wasn't a complete story because, all these things are left unanswered. I didn't feel that way with this, which I thought was very fortunate, because I was a little worried I would towards the end, but it was satisfying. It was a whole package, which I appreciated.
Yeah, and I like that, like especially like the scene where they've decided that the only way to like figure out if you're the Thing or not, if like you're this alien creature, is to do like that blood test. But like in a different movie, they would have like over explained what they were gonna do. And in this movie, they're like, we're gonna burn your blood, and if it reacts, you're an alien and we're gonna kill you. Like, it's very like simple and like that whole
exactly.
Yeah, like that whole sequence when Kurt Russell's character is like doing that part, like it's tense. You're like, who's the alien? Like I have no clue. And like Keith David, the other guy who ends up like surviving at the end, he's the most pissed off, and he's like, "Come on, just do it!" Like it's just so good. And like again, if this was a modern movie, they would over explain how like they were
You would
gonna
have
run
gotten
this test.
you would have gotten the
Yeah.
aliens' backstory on their planet for the
Right.
first 20
Right.
minutes of the movie.
Everything's
Yeah.
simple, straightforward. Like even a simple thing like they're outside at one point, and Kurt Russell's like, "You go inside. We're gonna go up to my my cabin or whatever." And the guy's like, "Why?" And he's like, "I didn't leave my light on." And you're like, "That's all we need." Like that's
Yeah.
like
Right.
don't overdo it. Like it's a simple how we get from A to B so that we know why we need to go to A to B. Like don't
Sometimes
overcomplicate
less
it.
is more.
Right.
Exactly.
That's what this felt like. A whole lot of less is more.
I also have to say, speaking on the characters, there was a lot of characters in this movie, and I was worried because we've seen it time before that sometimes too many characters, you don't get enough time with each of them. Each of these characters felt unique. They all felt pretty fleshed out. You didn't need their whole backstories, but they were perfect in the roles that they played. Each character had their own role. When they were on screen, you weren't, left bored or unattentive. Like they were actually interesting to watch and listen to. And they all had cool, unique dynamics with each other throughout the movie as, the group dwindled down. But at first, when it first started, and there was like, I don't know, it had to have been like 10 or 12 characters. I was like, oh no, this is going to be it could be hard to follow. Yeah. But they did a good job balancing it. And like I said, they all felt unique in a good way. It wasn't just like they were there as cannon fodder.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I
also want to point out
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead first.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Do your thing. We can do a segue to this after.
Oh, I was just gonna shout out the really good dog acting in this movie, because that dog, like the beginning sequence, that dog does everything it's supposed to, and then that kennel scene where like the dog goes in and the other dogs don't move. I'm like, these are real dogs, like listening and well trained. I mean, I know they're huskies and they're sled dogs and they're like really good listeners, and that's kind of part of it. But I was like, that's not easy to do. Get like 7 dogs to do what you need them to do in front of a camera. Because like that's the big thing in Hollywood. They say never work with kids, never work with animals. But this one worked out until it became a giant, crazy monster-looking thing that they have to burn.
I would also like to address the CGI/practical effects. I'm not going to lie and say that they weren't a little cheesy and corny at moments. However, I don't think it took away from the movie. I think obviously at the time these probably looked pretty good. Obviously, with what we have now, it's not necessarily even close. But like I said, I don't think it took away from the movie. Like it never took me out of it. I thought they were
I
were good enough for what they needed to be. Especially since 90% of them were practical effects. They used very little computer generated stuff when actually making a lot of the monster.
Yeah. Yeah, it almost has like a charm to it now.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have the notes that I took when I watched this for the first time, and I'm starting to make sense of why I wrote some of these down. But I'm gonna this is in ascending order. So from the movie started, first thing I wrote was, "This is giving John Wick vibes." I think because I saw them trying to shoot the dog. Then I said, "Never mind. This guy's aim is as good as his English." So okay. And then like one of like the musical motifs was like dun dun like through most of it.
Yeah, it was really good.
And I thought it was shipping off to Boston at first, which it wasn't. I wrote down, "Is this shipping off to Boston?" Then I said, "Is that Denzel Washington?" No. Then I said, "No, that is not Denzel." Okay. Then I said,
"You're watching a different movie over there."
I had a space between these, so we're later in the story now. How cold is it for somebody to have to freeze like that? Then I said, "Didn't know this was part of the Alien franchise. Oh wait, that's actually people just fused together."
Nice.
Yeah, that happened there. Then the next one, my personal favorite. What the actual fuck am I watching? Followed by, "This is why I'm a cat person." Then, "Oh look, they found the Millennium Falcon."
Yep.
This one, I'm having trouble remembering where I got this next one here. Is that a penis? I don't know.
I don't even know
really
what that
don't
could be
know.
referring to.
Okay.
Nope.
Again, I think you were watching a
I've
different
lost
movie,
myself
Andrew.
there. I'm
Yeah.
Different
I'm answering
franchise.
my own question there. Probably not. What the fuck? Nice call to the Shawshank Redemption. I don't know if it was probably when they were digging a hole or something at the end. But I think Shawshank came out after this. And then my last note, I'm pretty sure the Titanic got its ending from this. I don't remember how it ended, but
Titanic?
Okay.
Doesn't she like drop the
Yeah.
jewel off the back of the boat?
I think I was thinking of when he was sinking, like freezing.
Oh. Or like Jack Torrance in The Shining.
Or that, yes. Yeah. So that was my experience.
My notes were pretty basic and not as cryptic as yours.
Those are in the moment reactions.
Did you write those down
completely
in the
different movies.
Yes, I did. I was there by myself.
Can you imagine
like
if somebody was sitting next to you? Can you imagine if somebody was sitting next to you and they saw you typing that shit and they'd be like, wait, I didn't see that. That didn't happen. You'd be like, what is he watching?
I missed that.
Did you see, right?
Millennium Falcon, what?
Yeah. Spaceship.
If that's pretty much all we've got to say about the thing, I do want to shout out to our first movie that we did with Alien. I have
Taxi Driver.
now watched. Oh, the second one, Alien. I have now watched and completed, with the exception of the brand new Predator movie. I've watched all the Alien and Predator movies in the franchise. So that movie kind of set me on a spiral, which I wasn't expecting to happen. But it was a trip. Some of them really, really bad, but some of them pretty good. Most of them bad.
Do we want to do a rank now? And then we can,
with the three that we have.
Yeah,
we can do that.
Yeah. So as our list stands right now, not very comprehensive. Between watching Taxi Driver and Alien, we have Alien above Taxi Driver. Thoughts on where you'd put this one?
I'm gonna put the thing above Alien. I'm putting it as my number one so far.
I also had that idea.
I'd probably put it at 2, but I could see you could reverse either one. I think I've revisited the first Alien probably because I saw it when we watched it for this, and then my local theater did a showing, so I saw that because it was cool to see it on the big screen. And then I watched it a third time like a month ago because it was on TV and it was on, so I watched it. But I'm fine with interchanging both of those. I understand that like Taxi Driver on someone else's list could be above both of those, but because they're still all in a class of their own, anyways. But it's just such a different movie.
I guess what I'm going off of is I have heard of Taxi Driver as one of the greatest films ever made. And I think I had those expectations going into it, which didn't help. Whereas Alien and Thing, I knew little to nothing about going into, and I think that works to my favor.
I think, I'm kind of the same thing with The Thing. I had no concept of what that movie was going into it, and it was so unique for what it was that I think I could say I had the most enjoyment out of it. Like, with Alien, it was a good ride. There was a lot of fun in that movie. There was a lot of suspense.
Yeah.
But with The Thing, I was constantly being like, what's going on? But in such a fun way. I was with the characters throughout the entirety of that movie. With Alien, it was just kind of a suspense horror movie. It was what it was. We've had a million of those movies since then. But I thought The Thing was just so unique and different from majority of what I've seen that I definitely would put that as my number one of those three as of now.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm basing it in my mind off of rewatchability. So Taxi Driver's third for that because you have to be in a mindset or a mood.
Yeah, it's a good story.
Yeah, it's very it's kind of sad. It's just sad to watch Travis Bickle exist. So I'd much rather watch aliens, like, and I don't mean alien, I mean just like alien creatures over a
like
sad
paranormal
human
or like
who,
extraterrestrial stuff.
yeah. So I'd be fine with interchanging either one of those. So I'm fine with the Thing at 1.
Okay,
cool.
I'll put that on there.
Like I'd probably go to Alien, but
all right. So the current rankings are third place Taxi Driver, second place Alien, and first place The Thing. So we have, if I'm counting right, 5 films left on the list. Next one up is Groundhog Day. After that, we have
We'll see you in
Schindler's
March.
List. Yeah, right. The Pianist, Old Boy, and Once Upon a Time in the West.
Okay. And
The only
remember,
ones I've heard of.
We're not at Old Boy yet, but there's 2 versions. You got to watch the original.
Okay, good to know.
Good to know.
Yeah. Subtitled.
Yeah, the only ones on this list that I've actually heard of are Groundhog Day and Schindler's List, and maybe Once Upon a Time in the West. But The Pianist and Old Boy, I also know a little, probably less than nothing about either of those.
Well, Schindler's List.
I know the concepts of all those movies.
Yeah. I don't know anything about the Western.
The only movie on our list that we, so far, out of the 8 movies, was The Thing that I had no concept of what that movie was. Everything else I've at least heard of and have a general idea of what they are. But The Thing, that no clue. Not a clue what that movie was about.
It was kind of funny, too, because before we started recording, I had mentioned I was rewatching Stranger Things. And in the background of, I think it's Will's basement, he has a poster for that movie. And it was like, I don't know, something I picked up on because we're doing this. But
For The Thing?
Which I don't know that they would have had since the movie was a bomb.
Huh.
I mean, the kids are not... I feel like it's the kind of movie those kids would have liked, but...
Yeah, probably.
Definitely like a cult classic. But like
it's rated R, too, and I feel like to be like a kid and have a rated R movie poster in your room is cool.
Yeah, that's true.
But
it's a cool poster.
It is a cool poster. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do any Lego set ideas for this film?
I was like, I tried. Like
I'm gonna look on Lego ideas.
I was watching the movie on Monday, and I was sitting there thinking, like, what? I mean, it'd be cool to get like the Antarctica, like the base camp with
That's
all
the
the
only thing I can think
figures.
of.
But,
yeah, like the facility.
Or that 2-headed creature that they
that's
find.
The only thing I could,
Yeah.
But those would be some out there
Lego ideas.
No, because there's not like it's a cool set piece, but it's one set piece. Like there's no other.
It's not necessarily that iconic.
Right.
It'd be hard to differentiate that between a Lego City Arctic set.
You know what's funny to think? I was kind of reading into it a little bit. Is that obviously it's supposed to be freezing cold because it's Antarctica, but they filmed it on LA sound stages. So like they're walking outside and it's 90 degrees, but the setting is just supposed to be freezing cold. And I guess they set the temperatures like in the entire studio to like 40 degrees just to get that like breath effect. So it was like a freezer box in there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you got to get the shot.
But also, better than going to Antarctica. So
right. Yeah.
Yes, really. Good thing,
oh man.
Good thing this was before Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Yeah, he'd be like, guys, we got to do it.
We got to go
Let's build a base in Antarctica.
We're gonna live there for 6 months.
Yeah. Before we start filming.
Oh. I have like a weird thought. I don't know why I thought this, but I'm like, there's no women in this movie. Like it's just all men at this base. But I think that changes the dynamic. Because if you add a woman or two, then there's like this sexual tension because you're all stuck in Antarctica and you just don't need it. And I'm kind of glad they went that way. Because there would be a love storyline that we don't need. Like,
because they wouldn't in 1982 they wouldn't have had a woman character in there being a hero or anything like that. It would have had to have been she has to have a connection with somebody. The main character's trying to get with her or whatever it is. Yeah, that's a good point. That's just how they would have made the movie back then.
not saying I don't want women in movies. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. But
In case
I
people
just
didn't know, Steve was sexist. So.
Yeah,
I
clearly.
just think like I made note of it. I'm like they would have added in some sexual tension or like a romantic
No, it's a good point.
No,
storyline.
you're right. Yeah.
And like they just kept it like it's all dudes because only dudes would accept this mission because that's what dudes would do, and that's just the way it was. But I just made note of that when I was watching it.
Yeah.
So
that's a good point.
If you want a no chicks movie, go watch The Thing.
That's right. You're looking for something for your Vex bachelor party.
1982's The Thing is for the guys.
Total sausage fest.
That's right. Is that
speaking of The Thing, I didn't watch it like I said earlier, but whatever their reboot, prequel, whatever the hell it's supposed to be, I watched the trailer for it just out of curiosity. And it does look almost like a one-for-one remake, but then when I was reading the description, it sounds like it's a prequel and not a remake, but it's kind of a remake prequel. Really weird. And I don't know that this movie needed that. I think it was fine by itself.
What would a prequel to this movie be?
Is it like
I don't know.
the thing attacking a base before it attacked this base?
Maybe.
Like a pre-base?
Yeah.
Like the Norwegians? Like that would be a prequel. Because we don't know what happened there.
It says The Thing 2011 is a prequel to John Carpenter's 1982 film, The Thing. It explains what happened to the Norwegian camp that was discovered in the original movie. So I guess that answers that. But again, I don't think we needed that.
I might watch it at some point out of curiosity, but there's no way it delivers.
Yeah.
It didn't look that good.
No, absolutely.
Plus, there's probably
the trailer did not look great.
I
think there is a chick in it, actually. So Steve, you would hate it.
I would hate it.
You would hate
too many chicks.
Once there's women involved, Steve just is out.
I'm out.
Oh boy, this joke's gone on too far.
There's very few movies I can watch. Just dudes.
Wow, you must have like a collection of 6 movies then.
I just have 6 copies of The Thing. Case one breaks.
You're The Thing's biggest supporter.
Yep. I have the world's largest
I'm wondering
collection.
if it's I just threw into ChatGPT movies without women. And
Jesus,
probably because I'd asked it a question. Like I asked it before.
God.
That's not the worst thing I put in here. But The Thing came up as number 1.
Did it? That makes sense. Anything else that we
I'm
would
wondering
know?
if that's because I had 12 Angry Men, which is one of my favorites. The
It's called 12 Angry Men for a reason.
Yeah, The Lighthouse was Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe in a psychological thriller.
Because there's only 2 characters in it, right?
That movie's horrible.
Yeah, I didn't know that part.
So weird.
Isn't there a mermaid or something?
Willem Dafoe was the mermaid, if I'm remembering that correctly.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It was real weird. It was a rough movie to watch.
I like weird, though. I've never seen it.
The Great Escape from 1963.
That's the Paul Newman movie, I think.
War film.
Well, it's a prison, so... It's a men's prison.
That makes sense. That would do it, yeah. Lawrence of Arabia has no speaking roles for women. Maybe that might be. Yeah. Yeah, well, that was... Well, I mean, I guess the fact that we didn't know many of those shows that we were not biased.
Yep. I mean, I knew of them. I just haven't seen any of them.
What a great way to wrap up this episode.
No chicks. Just like this podcast.
That's right.
Oh, man.
Well, I think that's a wrap for our episode on The Thing.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
He's going to finish his stance on women here.
No.
God.
Well, I mean, I'm transitioning into the most badass woman in a movie of all time, Ellen Ripley.
Oh, there you go.
So, you watched all the Alien Predator movies.
I did.
Which I think is in the same vein as The Thing. Mm-hmm. So, what's your top Alien movie and what's your top Predator movie?
Let me pull up my list. So I've been making lists and ranking everything on Letterboxd. I've actually been committed to doing that, and every time
Have
I
you
watch a movie, I put
Have you
it
seen
there.
my reviews? I've done some reviews.
I've seen some stuff pop up. So for my Alien and Predator franchise, I ranked them all as one, and I've watched all 15 movies with the exception of the one that's currently in theaters. It's like Predator Hunting Ground or whatever it is.
Badlands.
Badlands. Same thing. That's the only thing I haven't watched yet. So one thing to note, didn't know it before I started this watch, but I watched them in release order, as you would.
Yep. That's not how they go chronologically.
Nobody told me that the two AVP movies were not canon, so I wasted 4 hours with those.
I like
bottom
the
of the
first
list, both of them. AVP Requiem, one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Requiem is by far it's number 16 on my list, but like it's so bad that I don't even know. I didn't even want to list it.
Bad.
It's so bad.
It's so bad. Anybody that would ever think to watch any of these movies in this franchise, don't bother. Literally, don't bother. I don't care if you're a completionist or whatever you want to call yourself. Don't bother. Just don't. It's god awful. Both of them are really bad. AVP, the first one, I don't know what happened, but like 60% of the movie is dubbed in English, but it's also filmed and written in English.
They must have
it was horrible because like I watched this movie twice. Once like I don't know why I watched it twice. There was an issue with I only watched half of it the first time, so I had to rewatch it. That was a mistake. But like the first 20 minutes, I was like, am I having a stroke? I'm like, what is happening? Like their mouths are very clearly saying things in English. Like you can tell by the pronunciation of their lips and mouths moving that they're speaking English, but the dialogue and the audio is not lining up. I look it up, and they dubbed over it. I don't know if they deleted half the recordings. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but it is rough to watch. It's so weird. But AVP Requiem, the second one, even worse. Even worse. That should tell you how bad that is.
It's so dark. Like every fight,
you literally
every
can't
sequence,
see what's happening on the screen.
Yeah, and the Predator, like especially the alien, the xenomorph, they're all black. And when you're fighting all black at night and you can't see them, like what are you fighting?
With no lights?
You're fighting the dark. Like it was so bad.
I watched that movie in a pitch black room with the TV on full brightness, and I couldn't tell what the hell was happening. That's not okay.
Brutal.
But anyways, back to your original question. For my top Alien movie, I have Aliens. Okay. I feel like that's an obvious. The top Predator movie is Prey, by far. Prey is... And an argument could be made that Prey is the number one movie on my list right now, out of the 15.
Yeah.
Again, I haven't seen the new one. I've heard the new one's been getting really good reviews. A lot of people are comparing it to Prey, and some people are even saying it's better than Prey. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
It's not better than Prey.
But I thought Prey was phenomenal, especially because a lot of the movies that are in this franchise are hot garbage, like real bad movies. Most of them are pretty bad movies. The one that surprised me the most was the animated one, Killer of Killers.
Yep.
That one was actually really good. I wasn't expecting much from that. That was a really good one. That's my number 4. That's right underneath the original Predator.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I'd say most of them are okay to watch, but don't ever watch the AVP movies. You don't need to. Save yourself the 4 hours, please.
I'll keep that in mind.
So, I interchange Alien and Aliens all the time. I think I just have like a nostalgia point for the first one because it was the first one and it was like the original, and it's like an Alien. It's like a 1v1 video game by the end, which I really like. But like I could see where Aliens 2 is just as good, and if not, like for my Alien franchise, if my top 3 are Alien, Aliens, Alien Romulus, because I just thought Romulus was really cool, even though it was kind of like a rehash of older Alien movies. It was with like a young generation. The face huggers, the face huggers were just like genuinely scary because there was like a whole room full of them, and like there's just like you care about all the characters in a different way. It just visually it looked stunning, and like I didn't expect that at all. I just like went to see it in the theater last year because there was nothing else to see, and I wanted to go to the movies, and I was like pleasantly surprised. So that's always fun.
Nice.
But for me, I think Prey and Predator are I like the original one just because of Arnold. Like Arnold and his crew are just like Jesse Ventura. Like I don't have time to bleed. Like there's just so many iconic lines in the first Predator. So I think it's slightly above Prey for me, but Prey is like just below it. It's just so good. Like it's like that 1v1 video game by the end and who's going to win, and it's simple. It's like a small story. And then my third one is probably Killer of Killers. Although I'll give a shout out to Predators, the Adrian Brody one, because it's just a lot of fun.
That one's a good one.
It's silly but it's like got a tremendous cast out of nowhere. Like Adrian Brody, Danny Trejo, Topher Grace is a bad guy. Like it's just like it's fun. I saw
Topher Grace is one of those actors who I only know him as Eric Foreman, but like when he's in other stuff too, I'm excited to see him.
Well, what is he? Venom in Spider-Man 3?
Yeah, he was Venom in Spider-Man 3.
He's Eddie Brooke, yeah.
But
and I was excited to see him in that.
Right.
Yeah.
So I saw Badlands, and I walked out of the theater not loving it. And then I listened to like 3 movie podcasts, including the In Review one, and they loved it.
Yep.
And then on my other 2, they're a little bit more critical, and they also loved it. So I was like, what the fuck did I miss? Like,
you're like, I'm in the wrong.
Right.
Yeah, because like I just didn't love it. And then when they started talking about it, I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. Oh yeah, that was cool. I don't know if I was tired. I don't know if I just like went to the movie because I just went by myself at like lunchtime last week because I had a couple hours and I wanted to see it. So I walked out kind of disappointed, but I think I don't know. I need a rewatch because everyone is talking so highly about it, and I just didn't love certain aspects of it or just missed some things. So I would go see it if you can.
Do you have a complete list of all of the movies in the franchise?
Yeah, I got all 16.
You want to run down the list for us? See what I'll run down after mine.
So I got Alien and Aliens 2 back to back as my 1 and 2. And then I got Predator and Prey 3 and 4. And then I got Romulus and Killer of Killers 5 and 6. Predators and Predator 2 are 7 and 8. And then I got Prometheus and AVP as 9 and 10. I liked AVP. It had moments that I really liked. The Predator was next, but I think that should probably go lower. That was at 11. Alien 3 is 12. I put Badlands at 13, but I think it needs a rewatch. Alien Covenant, which I also really hated. I don't know. I just didn't vibe with that. I didn't like the crew, and if I don't like the crew of like the Predator or Alien movies, it just doesn't vibe for me, and I just didn't like any of those characters. And then Alien Resurrection, and then Requiem at the bottom.
Right where it should be.
That movie, it's so bad. Like, but like everything above it is like at least watchable one time.
There's several points above where that movie is easily.
Yeah. It's like by itself in 16th, like 15, and then a steep drop to 16.
Yeah. So my first couple of movies are pretty similar to yours, and for the most part, they could be interchanged almost any day of the week, whatever mood you're feeling.
Yeah.
So my number 1, I have Aliens. My number 2, I have Prey. 3, Predator. 4, Alien Romulus. Yeah.
Yep.
Alien Romulus is my number 4. 5 is Killer of Killers. 6 is Alien. So I would say out of those 6, almost any of them could be interchanged, just depending on the mood I'm feeling.
Yeah, and those are my top 6.
So number 7, this is a hot take. Is
You've been warned.
The Predator. Okay.
I mean, the slapstick was fun.
So my reasoning for this is because I would say, so 7 is The Predator and 6 is Predators. Now, the only, aside from Predators, which is my number 8, everything below that I, for the most part, did not enjoy. There was a lot of those movies that were very boring, and there was a lot of rough parts of those movies to get through and that were just uninteresting.
Yeah.
Now, The Predator, I would say on paper, is probably not a good movie. It is arguably a bad movie.
Yeah.
However, it's bad in the sense that I was laughing a good majority of the time, whether it's with the characters or at the characters.
Right.
I was having a good time watching that movie, as bad as it was.
Yeah.
So that's my justification for that one. Number 8 is
works.
Predators. 9 is Alien Covenant. 10 is Prometheus. 11 is Predator 2. That was one of those. That one was rough for me to get through.
I like the LA Predator.
It was cool at first, but once I was like an hour into that movie, I'm like, there's enough. We're done.
I like the Danny Glover of it all.
He was good. I will give. He was good. 12, I had Alien Resurrection. 13, I had Alien 3, and then AVP and AVP Requiem. And again, even though AVP is right above AVP Requiem, there's probably like a 5-point gap between those movies. Like, seriously.
It's brutal.
All those movies are towards the bottom of the list, but they don't touch that movie. That movie is on its own list. If it could be on its own list, it would be.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Woo. Okay, hold on. Before we go, you have your list.
Yeah.
Where would The Thing fall on your list if you added it to this list?
Ooh, that's a good
If
one.
I added The Thing to my list, I would probably put it at my number 3 spot, right below Aliens and Prey.
Gotcha.
I think that's where I would put it.
I love it, don't get me wrong, but I'd probably put it at 6. So I'd have Aliens, Predator, Prey, Romulus, and then The Thing. And then Killer of Killers behind it.
Yeah,
I think it'd be,
that's pretty solid.
Again, like 16 movies, I would say the top 8 are all pretty solid and can be interchanged at any given mood.
Yeah.
And then the bottom 8 are pretty bad and could also be
exist.
Yeah, they could also be interchanged at any given moment depending on mood. So
yeah,
I
agree with that.
That makes sense. You, Andrew?
I haven't seen any of them except for the first one for this very reason here.
We're awful quiet over there.
Outside of Alien and The Thing, have you seen any of them?
No, not from that franchise. No.
I would say watch Prey. Out of all of those, I think you'll have the most fun with Prey, and it's
I would agree.
It's free on Hulu or Disney Plus.
Disney Plus, whatever you have.
Yeah,
it's fun, like all the way through.
Cool. I will keep that in mind.
That would be my recommendation.
Nice
for the listeners out there.
Yeah.
So this is where we're gonna end our episode for The Thing. We are going to do another episode with just a miscellaneous recap episode, so that'll be posted separately. So this video is just going to be cut in 2. So that's what we're going to do.